this is Nina Perez at Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Thank you so much for watching. We are here to give you resources, tools, and tips, and to discuss life topics to maybe challenge and transform your thinking. Today, I have with me Jalen Holmes. He's a personal trainer and a health coach. He's based here in Norwalk, Connecticut. Through a personal health transformation himself, Jalen learned about the dangers of stressfully successful damaging exercise, improper diet, and the harmful effects of exposure to environmental toxins. He is the founder and trainer of Organic Gym, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
Hi, Jalen. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I wanted to welcome him here today because I think that health coaches do a lot to try to get us on the right track. And what I like about Jalen and what I've learned about Jalen is that he really tries to encompass an organic lifestyle around the training and the health coaching that he does. So thank you so much for being with me today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here.
So thank you, Jalen. I wanted you to start off by telling our viewers a little bit about yourself and why you became a personal trainer and a health coach.
Okay, well, I started personal training 4 years ago.
Okay.
So when I first started doing that, I do it out of my garage gym.
Okay.
And I became a personal trainer once I firsthand experienced the life-changing physical and mental health benefits of performing specific exercises.
Okay.
And once I experienced that for myself, it was like it was a moment where I knew that I could truly benefit people and teach people these exercises and give people amazing workouts in my community.
Okay.
So that's what got me started with personal training. As far as health coaching, I would say being an athlete my whole life, I was always super interested in learning about ways I could have a competitive advantage.
Okay.
And I learned that I could gain a competitive advantage through different things I learned with nutrition. So I was always researching things in regards to different foods and different supplements I could do. Mm-hmm. But around 4 years ago, I would say that my research on nutrition went to a whole nother level, and
Okay.
it became, and I learned so much at that time, life-changing things, and I experienced a transformation myself. My health went to a whole nother level. I experienced better energy levels, better athletic performance, better mood through nutrition. And once I experienced that, I became really confident in sharing the things that I did that mm-hmm. helped me. And it just gained momentum as I shared these different lifestyle strategies and different protocols.
Oh, okay. So then you kind of like wrapped up everything for you because you were into football for a long time, right?
Yes.
So what do you mean? Because I know that you said something about, like a stressful, damaging exercises, right? So I'm assuming that is what you're speaking about, where you learned a little bit about how to train better, right? Is that what that's about?
Yes,
right?
correct.
Yeah. And so the health coaching came in afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
A little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
But around the same time.
So when you were a football player, did you not really focus too much on diet and nutrition, or was it just like straight up, eat and go out to the football field? I mean, how did that?
So at that time, I kind of fell victim to the mainstream advice that was put out there.
Okay.
And I kind of took, unfortunately, I took some supplements that I wouldn't take today.
Right.
I know much better now,
right.
But then I did the best I could to my knowledge.
Right.
And just recently, my knowledge has gone to a whole nother level. But at that time, I feel like I had the knowledge. I mean, I had the interest to do the right thing nutritionally.
Right.
But I fell victim to some misguided information at that time. And now I feel like I'm able to distinguish what's truly healthy and what's not. And I gained that wisdom through self experiences. And And in these past 4 years, consulting with people and
Yeah.
getting results,
Right.
I could see it, and I'm really confident in helping people in that way.
Right, right, because now you are actually seeing and you're walking the walk too, right? It's not something like you just read a book and decided I'm going to just teach people this, but you're actually you went through it, right? Because you said you also increased your performance as an athlete, right? Increased the way you felt, and it's interesting because you also said even your mood.
Yes.
And I've always said that food has a lot to do with our mood.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
They're closely related.
Yeah.
And that's a topic that I like to touch on, how your stomach health, the state of your intestinal tract, how clean that is, it directly relates to your brain's ability to produce these mood-enhancing hormones. So yeah, our stomach health is directly related to our mood.
And I think that that's why there is such a big increase right now in supplements for digestive enzymes and fluoride and stuff like that in the intestinal tract, right?
Yes.
Because that's where you absorb all of your nutrients. And so I guess that makes sense, because if you're not absorbing many nutrients or the bad things, right, or have an increase in say candida or something like that, I could see how that can affect your mood. So it was interesting that you said your mood improved.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah. So I know that what makes your gym different is you talked about 3 things that I just wanted to lightly touch on. And it's synthetic chemical-based cleaning products.
Yes.
Indoor air pollution and radiation exposure to Wi-Fi signals.
Yes.
So I see that you're wrapping all this up in a little package for us, right? So you're not just going to train somebody, it seems, physically, right? Because you're a personal trainer. You're a health coach, so you're going to try to do it nutritional-wise also. But this is talking more about environment.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you mean by synthetic chemically based cleaning products? What made you even think of that, really? Because I, was a member of a gym and we just sprayed whatever was there. I never really thought of the chemicals.
Right. So once I became passionate about this, I truly learned how our environment really dictates our health, and we're not really we're not victims of our genes and our environment.
Oh, that's good.
Our environment really plays a huge role in our health. So when I really became really health conscious, I started spreading awareness of the fact that indoor fitness facilities and gyms, they're using these synthetic cleaning products, spraying it around in the area. And years ago, I did go to Planet Fitness.
Right.
And when I started thinking about this, I really thought that being exposed to chemicals in a poorly ventilated environment is really harmful, especially in a place where you are seeking health. So our environment is key, and being exposed to these chemicals in the air while you work out is very compromising, and it's far from ideal.
And it's not something people think about.
Yeah.
It truly is not something people think about.
It's
right?
not.
I never thought about that until we started talking about that. And I'm like, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I am trying to change my environment at home with toxic-free chemicals and things like that, but I guess I never really think about it outside of the home. Where I work, if I clean, I just clean with what's there. If
Right.
I'm at the gym, you just clean with what they give you. You never think about, you're right, about being in a place that is not really well ventilated. I mean, you think that it is, but it isn't, because most gyms are in big cement buildings and, so they can have a lot of equipment, right? But I never thought about that. So I guess that goes with your second point, which is your indoor air pollution, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to think about, so in a gym environment where there's multiple people in there, there's limited air, there's limited oxygen in that environment. And when you're exercising, your oxygen, your need for oxygen increases in an environment like that. So the air is polluted on top of the fact that you need more oxygen to support your exercise. That's a recipe for disaster.
Right, wow.
Toxic air, and in a moment when you're doing the exercises where you need more oxygen in your body, those two things, they cause an unhealthy environment. And I'm all about spreading awareness on this fact,
Right.
that working in an indoor facility is the worst thing you could do.
Wow. So what's your alternative to that?
So I would say the best alternative is to work out, to find an exercise, a beneficial exercise regimen that you enjoy, and to do it outside.
Or as close to outside, I guess, as you can.
Yeah, or in your room if you have a window. Obviously, if you have a window
open. So
open.
just ventilation is important.
You want to exercise with fresh air.
Right.
Think about that. If you can exercise with fresh air, that's what you want to do. That's the best case scenario.
That's good. So you also have a point here that you would like to make, which is radiation exposure from Wi-Fi signals.
Yes. So there is the chemical cleaners that we mentioned.
Yep.
The
indoor.
Poorly ventilated air.
Yep.
And the third thing is the radiation exposure from Wi-Fi signals. And this is another thing that most people aren't aware of, is that their cell phones and the Wi-Fi routers, they give off what's called non-native EMF, and it's just man-made radiation that our bodies were never exposed to. And it's scientifically proven that this radiation hinders our cells' ability to communicate with each other.
Wow.
So if you're exercising in an environment with your cells not working at full capacity, you're not getting your maximal potential exercise. So when I work out, I stay away from Wi-Fi radiation. I turn my phone off. I do everything as natural and as clean and as healthy as possible. And avoiding Wi-Fi radiation is very important.
Right. Is that something that you're always conscious of? Because I don't think I've ever been conscious of it, to be honest. I think anywhere I go, I'm like, oh, free Wi-Fi, great.
Yeah.
And I think most of us think that way, though, right? I mean, I don't think I've ever been. I just don't think that's something that's ever crossed my mind. You're making me think about something here, because I mean, if it's causing you to have slow damage to your cells, that can also really, I mean, we're not going to go into a whole, medical topic, but the whole thing is that I've realized that I've seen an increase in people being ill,
Definitely.
And I know people are always saying, brain tumors and stuff have increased, and they think it's because of cell phones, right? It makes sense.
Definitely.
I mean, we didn't have cell phones when I was growing up, and you really didn't hear that many people having brain tumors like you do now, right?
Yes.
So maybe the Wi-Fi has something to do with that. That's pretty interesting.
Technology's great, but there's precautions that we all need to take, and
Yeah.
this is what I educate people on: how to safely use their cell phone, how to safely navigate in a heavy Wi-Fi world that we live in.
Right.
There's solutions and there's precautions to take to safely use technology.
Really? Can you give me one or two?
One huge thing that everybody needs to do, really should do, is to unplug their Wi-Fi router at night.
Okay.
So they could sleep without that exposure, and they could,
that's a good
because
idea.
sleep is so crucial for healing, and that's a time you don't want to be exposed to radiation. So everybody, I tell everybody that I can to turn off their Wi-Fi router at night, and that right there is a huge upgrade for your health, just like that.
Wow. And so, is Wi-Fi something you think, I know you're not a scientific expert, but just in your opinion, is Wi-Fi something that you think that the moment you become in contact with it, it can start to cause damage? Or is this like a slow progression thing, or do you know the answer to that?
Both.
It's both.
Once you're in the vicinity, it is dampening your
It's
cell
already
production,
doing it.
already
Wow.
doing it.
Okay.
But it does take a toll over time. It's
Yeah.
accumulative.
Okay. That
You
makes
really
sense.
don't, it plays behind the scenes.
Right.
But over time, and the fact that we didn't have exposure to these levels in the past,
Right.
this really is a new age experiment. We really don't know
We really
the
don't
long-term
know.
effects of all this technology.
You're right.
So I do everything that I can to be smart with technology and
Okay.
take precaution.
Wow. That's really cool. So one of them is turning your Wi-Fi off at night. Is turning your cell phone off something that helps, or that doesn't
too,
help?
That's another one too.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It's best to completely turn it off and
Okay.
keep it as far away as you can.
Okay.
It's great to get a full night's sleep without exposure to the radiation. So yes, your cell phone, turn that off completely and unplug the Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Two major things.
Okay. So the other thing I want to know about you is what is your job really as our health coach, right? Because what you're teaching me now is really something I never thought about. I really didn't think about the synthetic chemical-based cleaning products in my gym. I just didn't. I didn't even think about the indoor air pollution because, you know, I guess I go under the assumption, and probably most people do, that the gyms take this into account.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You think in your brain they're building a gym, they know that this has to be done. So I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But I also have to think about the fact that a lot of times gyms are built in facilities that are already been built.
Yes.
They just kind of throw a gym in it.
Exactly.
Right? I never thought about that. So you're teaching us that, and then you're teaching us to turn off our Wi-Fi at night so that our body can recover. That's the amazing thing about
correct.
cells, right? The amazing
Yes.
thing about cells is that they do try to repair and recover. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
It's
our
a
bodies
beautiful
are
thing.
amazing.
They are amazing. And I never thought about that at night. So I'm going to have to go and get myself a little alarm clock, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in our family, we unplug it, but there is timers. You could use it. There's a timer, like you could connect to the Wi-Fi, have it shut off automatically, something like that. But if you could just unplug it every night, it's going to do your health a whole lot of good.
Yeah. No, that is good.
You'll get
Now I'm
deeper
just thinking
sleep.
about me waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
How am I going to wake up without my cell phone?
You might have to get a little. You might have to get a little alarm clock. or
That's what I'm
something.
saying. I'm going to have to get a little alarm clock now.
Yeah.
Jalen, I'm going to have to go old school.
Yeah, that's the best to do.
It's the best thing to do. I agree. All right. So I want to know, as a health coach and in your job as a health coach, I mean, you're teaching these little things, but what is your job ultimately as a health coach? What is that ultimate reason for becoming a health coach? Because you can just train people, right?
Right.
I mean, there's just trainers out there that just train you, and then, you know, I'll see you in 5 days or whatever. So why a health coach? Why add that to it?
Because there's so many aspects to having great health.
Yeah.
Exercise is huge, but
Right.
there's many other factors that play into having great health. And when I consult with people, I always address and I always try to find the lifestyle factors in their life that is giving them their problem. So I try to identify the triggers
Okay.
and things in their environment that are unhealthy. I'm basically like a detector, so I try to learn as much about their life, their lifestyle, their work environment, where they can make little changes and improvements to avoid certain toxins and improve certain lifestyle factors.
So is that why you want to, because I know that that's important for people, but why is it important for you to be a health coach?
It's important for me because once I experienced such a increase in my health, I feel like, and when I see people in their unhealthy state and I see so much of it, I feel like I could do something to help. I feel like I could help people in my community, and I could really improve lives of them, their kids. I feel like I can make a major impact on people's lives.
Yeah, so you're looking, I mean, that's probably what drives you, right? Is to see that impact being done.
Yes.
That's the good thing about being a health coach, life coach, business coach, whatever, is seeing a result.
Definitely,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, not just a one-shot deal, but an actual result. So when you are a health coach, or as you health coach, do you do this as a one-on-one thing? Do you do settings where there's groups? Like, how do you prefer to do your coaching?
So currently, I prefer to do one-on-one because everybody's life is unique, and I like to really zone in and tailor to their needs. I like to tailor to any specific health ailments that they might have. So yeah, ideally, one-on-one for health consultations.
Right.
and for personal training in my gym, I train 2 people at a time.
Okay. Okay.
But one-on-one for the health consultations.
You ever thought about doing a group setting?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But if the opportunity arose,
Right.
um,
Probably would be a challenge, right?
it would, because I would have to address each individual.
Right.
I really would.
Right.
I could address a group in a broad topic, but to
Right.
fine-tune things and to really meet somebody's specific needs, I would have to talk to them one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it might be something you may want to consider, like just teaching people like me, a layman, about like non-toxic products and indoor air pollution that we don't think about, and the Wi-Fi thing, which I will start doing because I honestly never thought of it.
Yes.
And I just never thought. I mean, my Wi-Fi is literally on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as are most people I know.
Right.
Because we don't really think about it. How's my iPad going to work at night? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so silly, but we just don't think about it. It's the convenience of it all.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, back in the day, we used to walk everywhere. Now, we want to take our car.
Yeah.
So
The modern world is a lot different.
it's a lot different,
and
a lot more damaging.
we got to get back to the natural way, how
Yeah.
things were done in previous generations.
Yeah, exactly.
We really do.
We really,
because
really do.
It's just healthier that way, and you feel the difference.
So, why do you feel that, this is vital, like being organic and what your lifestyle is, right? Or as natural as you can. And exercising so important. I know that it makes you feel good, right? But what is the root of that? Like, why is this so important to be so worried about all of these things we just discussed and exercising? Do you have what drives you is what I'm saying, right? Because some of us, like me, for instance, I'm just going to put me on the chopping block, okay? I'm just put me right up on the chopping block. It's fine. For me, I'm a workaholic, right? So I like to work a lot. That's what I do. That's how I kind of, that's how I drive myself, right? Exercise is on the lowest of that list. I hate to say that to somebody who's an organic personal trainer, but this is the truth. So how do you convince me, or how do you tell me why it's so important, right? Because I could tell you that I can find articles that'll say exercising isn't important. I can find articles that'll tell you that eating organic isn't important, right? Because there's so many conflicting things out there. So why is this important?
I think the best way I can answer that is like someone in your I
Position?
guess someone in your position, right?
The non-exercising person. Go ahead, I got you.
I would tell that person to meet with me and work with me for 2 weeks, and then you'll experience the night and day difference in how you feel.
Yeah. But why is it important?
It's important. I think it's important only if the person thinks it's important.
That's a good answer.
I really do, because I just want to see a really productive, happy society.
Right.
And I know the role that health and exercise and healthy lifestyle plays in a productive and happy person. Because just like people walk their dog every day to keep their dog happy and healthy, we need our daily activity, we need the proper exercise, and we need the proper foods and several other things as well to be happy.
Right.
So I think happiness is the root of all this.
Right. Okay. So basically feeling in a place where you are happy, but also I'm assuming content and full of joy. But you used a very important word, because you said we also need to be healthy and happy, not just happy, right? Because happy to me can be a Krispy Kreme donut.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying it to the wrong person.
Well,
but
we want to think
one of my heavier friends would agree with me.
long-term happiness. Long-term happiness.
Thank you. Okay, you have to clarify. You have to clarify. Krispy Kreme is the bomb, right?
Yeah. But how do you feel after?
Exactly.
We want the long-term
Exactly.
happiness.
That's it. That's
Like,
it. And that's
how
what
you
I'm
feel
saying. You
after
have
eating
to
a
be
good
specific,
meal.
right? Because I'm going to be
Yes.
specific. So we got to be specific. Because if you're going to talk about happiness, I can talk to you about some good food, okay? So that's good. So next, when we get back, I would like to talk about different things. So I want to talk about stressful, damaging exercise. What does that mean? I want to talk about a regular person like me. How do I get more educated? Because there's so many conflicting things out there. Honestly, I just sometimes don't know what to do. So I'll use me again. I choose sometimes not to do anything because it becomes overwhelming, and then I don't want to do it. So I want to talk to you about that. So basically, I want to talk to you about different conflicting things: raw versus cooked, paleo versus keto, low carb versus high carb, sugar versus no sugar versus low fat versus full fat. There's so much out there, Jalen. But because you have worked with so many people and have seen results, I would like to talk to you about what your ideas of all this is. And you probably have tried some of these too. So
Yes.
It would be good to know what your experiences were with those kind of diets. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about challenges that you see in clients. If I become a client, what are some of the things as a client and people who are viewing can look and say, how a person like me who doesn't really know or have as much information as we think we do, because we have so much conflicting information. So I just want to know and touch on what are some challenges that we can talk about that somebody like me can avoid.
Okay. Yeah.
So we will be right back to talk about those things because I can't wait to hear what you have to say. So don't you miss it. Come right back as me and Jalen discuss all of these amazing challenges that hopefully you and I can get on board with. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Nina Perez. Welcome back. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. And we have been talking to Jalen, who's trying to read me the riot act on how I don't have a healthy lifestyle. I'm only kidding. But he is a personal trainer and a health coach here in Norwalk, Connecticut. He is the founder and the trainer at Organic Gym. And he's been talking to us about how to basically have a much healthier lifestyle. And he really encompasses a lot of different things. So he had a successful career as in football, and he talks about, the damaging exercises, improper diet, harmful effects of our exposure to the environment, all of this great stuff that he encompasses all in what he does in his training and his coaching. So we are going to now talk about, lifestyle changes. Like, how does somebody like me, who is a workaholic and doesn't really focus on exercising and health as much as I should, how do I get started? What is the goal here? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because there's so much information.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Sometimes I feel like I already know what to do. I'm so educated. I know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is that I like to read and listen to a lot of audiobooks, right? So I get a lot of audiobooks on diet and exercise and healthy eating and healthy living and all that kind of stuff. And I get so many conflicting topics and information that then I just shut down, And so I think that happens not just with me, but a lot of people I speak to too that just don't know where to start, mm-hmm. right? And then you go into a gym and you get yourself a personal trainer who kind of maybe knows what he's doing, but kind of maybe doesn't.
Yeah.
And so then you're conflicted again, right? So what I want to talk to you about, the first thing is, how does a regular person like me, who isn't living this lifestyle yet, right? Because I would like to live this lifestyle, I just need proper guidance. Right? So somebody like me who isn't living this lifestyle, how do I get educated? What is it that I should do? Or what's the first steps of getting educated in having a healthy lifestyle?
Well, that's the current epidemic that we're dealing with now. I would say the internet is an extremely powerful tool. And I encourage everybody to become skillful researchers and use the internet to your advantage. But like you said, there is so much out there.
Yeah.
First, I would think about what your specific health ailment is. So if you suffer from a specific autoimmune disease, there's hundreds of them, but if you have a specific one that you suffer from, I would research that, I would Google that, and I would Google natural remedies for that specific disease and learn up as much which organ's responsible, which organ is dysfunctioning, which part of your body is not working optimally and is causing that reaction in your body. I would think about family history. I would seek out people in my direct environment who maybe have healed themselves from something similar. And I would try to use the internet to my advantage, and I would implement things slowly and see what my intuition leans towards and how specific things make my body feel. A really great thing for people to do is what's called an elimination diet, and that's where you try to identify the specific foods that you're eating that are causing an allergic response.
Okay.
And that's a challenge. This is another reason why I'm so passionate about providing education, because it's not easy. It can be done, but it's hard to figure out how to go about it. But I would just say, try to research your specific condition. I would use YouTube. There's a lot of information on YouTube because people sharing their personal testimonies of what they did.
Right.
And I would try some things that these individuals have done, and I would see what resonates with me, and I would take it slow.
Okay.
But a great thing is to contact somebody with experience, a holistic practitioner in your area that is confident and has results, has given results to their clients.
That's good. That's actually really good advice. I didn't think of, because, okay, so I'll use me as an example. I just remember not feeling well, and I was having body aches and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. I went to go see a naturopathic doctor. She wanted to do an elimination diet or a blood test to test and see if I have any responses to different foods. Because I was having a lot of muscle ache, body aches, rashes, things like that. It turns out that I should not be eating cow milk, gluten, and I had a high candida. So I was like, wow, okay, I went to see like 20 specialists, and basically one naturopathic found it out in like 1 week.
Nice.
So it was nice, but you're right. I think researching it is a big deal. And I like what you said about, finding somebody who's overcome that or has a testimony to that. I didn't think about that, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you believe that people should do a quick remedy to a problem, or is this, okay, so I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I followed somebody who was doing juicing, right? And it was great, but you can't live that way.
Right.
So then you go right back to struggling again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, I think, where I kind of hit a wall, because it has to be something I can live with. And not something that can be a quick fix. I'll lose 20 pounds, but then I'm going to gain back 30 because I can't live on juices for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. You can't live like that. I mean, I don't know if you can, but I wouldn't try it, right? So how do you battle that one? Like, do you just tell people, let's get you started and we're going to quickly do these, do this and then gradually grow? Or because that's, I think, confusing for people like me. Like, who do we follow? Like, right? Like, do I follow the juice guy?
Yeah. Well, that depends on an individual's current state of health.
Okay.
So if somebody is in a really damaged state, maybe they have cancer, for example, something that's pretty extreme.
Right.
You would address their situation differently. They might need a more of intense protocol.
Okay.
Whereas somebody who might just have some digestive discomfort, you could address a person like that with maybe not a more long-term solutions that they might not require something as aggressive as somebody who's battling cancer. So again, everybody's state is different. But right now, I really think that gaining the skill and knowledge of how to take care of your own body is probably the number one skill that we as humans need to develop. Learning how to take care of our own unique body and gaining skill in internet research is probably the most valuable skill that we could have right now. Learning which foods to eat, what time to eat them, how much to eat to feel good, to have no digestive discomfort, to have energy, to sleep good. And the foods that we eat, the liquids that we drink, our environment, all those factors play such a huge role. And there's so many factors, but the truth is, if everybody's determined and they truly want to do it, I feel like God will be on your side, and God will guide you step by step to find the answers for your unique situation. But yeah, the internet and reaching out to people in your environment, in your community that dealing with something similar, people who have testimonies.
So forums, do you?
Yeah, group discussions. I personally, these past 5-6 years, I've listened to hundreds of podcasts, radio interviews. I watched endless videos. I've read hundreds of articles. So much nutritional research I've learned and uptaked. I've read so many things.
Right.
And I've learned so much. And learning all that, I have great confidence in taking care of my body and helping others. So I just know the true value of knowing how to take care of your body.
Right. So, you said something that touched me too, which is listening to your body is a skill. And you're right. Because, a lot of us don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have an off button almost, right? So it's almost like, like when we were kids, right? You had to finish what was on your plate. There was no such thing as leaving food on the plate, right? You would get in trouble for that. So as an adult, when you go to eat now, right, in these restaurants that give you so much food, you almost feel like I have to finish. It's like it's a mind game, right? Like I have to finish what's on my plate. Almost like guilt comes over you if you're not going to eat everything that's on your plate, even when you're full. So it's almost like you forget what full feels like until you're unbuckling your pants and leaning back in the chair because you're so full you can't take it anymore, So that's really interesting that you use that, as one of your examples, because I think that's something as a health coach you probably have to teach, right? I mean, like, if your gut starts feeling bad, then you know that this is not something you should be eating. Or as soon as your brain says you're satisfied or have enough, and that's what I think we're disconnecting, right? Because obesity is a big problem in this country, right? It's also the food we're eating, right? Non-organic, fast food is everywhere. People are really busy. We're always picking something up along the way. We're not prepping our foods before, things like that, which I know those things are important. Knowing what you're going to eat before you go out. Prepping some food so that when you get to work, you're not just ravishing everything that's around you, right? Having maybe something prepared for lunch that's healthy instead of going to that, Chinese spot down the street or something like that. But most of us don't think like that, I think we need to because we're in trouble. This country is in trouble. We got a lot of overweight people having a lot of issues, diabetes, high cholesterol, heart issues. All of these topics have come up. Cancer is really big right now. It used to be 1 in 200 people, and now it's like 1 in 2,000 people, and now it's like 1 in every 10 people or something. It's like something really dramatic. And I'm like, wow. And it's true because I know so many people who have cancer or have had cancer. And it's just like, how do I know that many people that have cancer? I
know. It's the body awareness.
Yes.
That is vital. How you feel, being in tune with knowing when to stop, knowing when you're full, knowing when you're not eating enough. Some people don't eat enough. It all depends. It's that natural instinct of being obedient to that and not eating too much, not stuffing yourself. Making the digestive process as easy and efficient as possible. You don't want to tax your digestive organs.
And that's the thing. I think that you as a health coach can teach us a lot about that because I don't know what that means, right? Like, I mean, if I'm just going to be honest, what does that mean? Like, I know that, for instance, for me, I can't have the gluten in the cow milk anymore, right? So when I do, I am in trouble. My stomach hurts, my joints hurt, I don't feel good, I have a headache. I know. And if I go somewhere and I ask them, is there any cream or flour in here? And they're like, no. I say, okay, I'll have that. I'll know immediately that they're lying. Within 20 minutes, I am not feeling well. And I'm like, okay, what did they make this with? They used heavy cream. I told you, was there any milk in this? You know, that kind of thing. So, but I'm just learning that at my age. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of, you don't feel good, go take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel full after you eat, you go sleep, but you don't realize maybe that's not what you should be doing. Maybe that's not the best thing for you to do. Eating late at night. If I'm getting home late, I start cooking at like 7 p.m. I'm not eating till 9. Right? But I think there's a trick to that. Isn't there a trick to like eating earlier, or you're supposed to be eating like a few hours before you go to bed or something? I don't know.
Right.
See, that's what I mean.
There's so much detail to this, but like you said, you want to give your body some time after your last meal before bed. Like, that's one little thing. But meal timing and how much you eat, you have to get it tailored to you. That's why I always go back to addressing somebody one-on-one to see where their knowledge, see where their health knowledge is at, and see what I could bring awareness to them. Like, what can I enlighten them on? And that's my responsibility. That's what I feel. That's what I feel to do, is to enlighten people and bring their awareness to some beneficial strategies.
That's good, because what you're saying is that you don't tailor it one size fits all.
Definitely not. It would never work that way.
That's good. I mean, and that kind of gives me a little bit of an aha moment, right? Because like I told you, I like to read a lot on health stuff, and I like to listen to a lot of audiobooks and things like that. And I think that's the problem, maybe, is that they are a one size fits all. It's not like they are individually talking to me through the book, right? I mean, it's literally this worked for them. Here's what happened. Here's the manual, right? But then you try the manual and you feel crummy, and you're like, why do I feel crummy? You know, this is amazing. This is supposed to be an amazing thing. Like, my friend was doing the Whole30, right? Which is awesome. That's like an elimination type diet. It's really healthy and all that. But it turns out she was allergic to like five of the 6 or 9 things she can have, you know? Which she felt crummy whole time. And she's like, why do I feel crummy? This is supposed to be amazing. And sure enough, she went to go see a naturopathic doctor, and they're like, well, you're allergic to this. And she's like, that's everything on my diet. And I'm like, that just gave me that,
People with that, in that situation, so many people have food allergies, and it's because their digestion is just compromised. When we were young, we could eat anything and feel fine.
Yes.
But over time, that ability goes down. But I'm aware of several strategies to regain that ability to eat more foods and not be so intolerant to foods.
That's good.
And it's really about restoring the integrity of your intestinal tract.
Right.
Sealing that up, because there's a lot of damage that has been done, whether it's from antibiotics or chemicals in their environment, and eating wrong foods over time will damage your intestines. But I provide strategies that will heal your intestines.
Okay, so you can be healed.
Yes, that's another huge thing.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Knowing that,
Yeah, because sometimes you feel like it's a lost cause, right? I mean, you're just bloated. Okay, then you go to the pharmacy and you go take bloating medication.
Yeah.
But you're not fixing the problem, right? And that's most of us. And that's why the medication, companies are making so much money, because we just go and buy the remedy for that problem, the Band-Aid, basically, for the problem. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the challenges that you find in your clients. So I am going to be your client. What is something that you can say to me, well, this is the biggest challenge I see with my clients, so for us to avoid that challenge?
Okay, so for me, the only challenge that my clients experience is a temporary challenge. Just like when a person uptakes a new lifestyle, anything new, a new hobby or something, there's always an adjustment period. And I feel like with my clients, it might be the first 2-3 weeks of the adjustment period.
Okay.
That's when the challenges arise in the very first.
Because it's different, right?
Yeah, it's different, and you really haven't benefited. You haven't really experienced all the benefits in that short time frame.
That's right.
But after that hurdle, once you make it through the adjustment, all of my clients are smooth sailing, and it will always be like that.
So it's the commitment.
At first.
Yeah.
Because after that, they enjoy the workouts, they enjoy how their body feels, and it's just a part of their life after that.
So it's getting through the changes and the adjustments. That makes sense. Because we live in a world where everything has to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. And for us to sit there and have to wait for an adjustment period.
You gotta earn it.
I know.
You gotta earn it.
I think that's the hard part, right? And I think that this is exactly why these gimmicks make money fast, right?
Yeah.
The pill that makes you lose weight in 5 seconds, or the drink, or the sweating belt that you put on, right? That you're supposed to put it on, and by the morning you've lost 23 pounds.
Deep down, everybody knows.
Everybody knows. So you're trying to hope this is the magic pill. I still haven't found it. I've been looking for it for 25 years. So
don't fall victim to that anymore. Nobody.
Oh my God, that is so
funny. You gotta earn it. You earn it at first, but then you reap the rewards, and you feel good. You feel the benefits. You feel the benefits.
That's good. I like that you said it, the adjustment period, because then it makes you focus on the long term, like you said before, right? Instead of, you're not going to walk out of my gym losing 15 pounds the first session, right? And you're not going to probably feel that great either, because I'm sure our muscles are going to be sore. You're restricting us, I'm sure, of our sugars and our Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Which is going to be like, I don't like Jalen, he's mean, But I can see why the adjustment period would be the challenge. That's actually pretty great that you said that, because You are completely correct. And I think that anybody who reaches out to you from this segment will probably take with them, or even if they just go to a gym for the first time, that they have to remember that this is an adjustment period. It's the
Yes.
same thing like when you get that brand new job and you go to work,
Yeah.
and the first day freaks you out, you
Yeah.
know, but then after you're there for like 6 months or whatever, it's smooth sailing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's the same thing.
thing.
You're right. I think it's also a mindset thing, right? It's also saying to yourself, I need to change and I have to do it without compromising myself. Because I think one of the biggest challenges for me is that I always feel like I'm self-sabotaging. So it's committing to not self-sabotage and
Yeah.
to know that it was okay that I did in the past, but I don't have to do it again. I like that you used in the beginning where you said we are not victims to our genetics.
Yes.
That's
huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I used to say that all the time. Well, my grandmother's overweight, my mother's overweight, my aunts, struggle with weight, so they're not heavy, but they have to fight it. You know what I'm saying? And I've always said, oh, it's in the genes. It's in the genes, right? And there actually are books that say it's in the genes.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
It's not at all.
It's not true.
It's not at all. And I'm spreading awareness on that to
Yes.
totally destroy that negative belief program.
Yeah.
Because it's totally not true. I know that for myself because I used to believe that too. I used to think that when I was an athlete, I used to think that my performance was like due to genes, the genetic thing.
Right.
But now I know that what you do and your belief, how you feel,
Yeah.
and your environment really dictates your performance.
And your determination,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's good. So I want to touch really quick on just a little bit of the conflicting information. You don't have to give us a full download, but there's so much out there, Jalen. So there's raw versus vegan, high carb versus low carb, versus keto versus paleo, versus low sugar versus low cholesterol. I mean, it goes on and on, right? Versus intermittent fasting versus, I just don't know what to do anymore, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I did discover, and you can tell me if I'm on a really bad track here. I discovered that low fat, high carb doesn't work for me. What works for me, or at least what I've always seen results in, is always been a high fat, low carb diet.
Yeah.
That just works for my body. I don't know why, but it just does. So every time I say I want to lose weight, I know immediately what to do. I stop eating all the gluten, the wheat, all that white stuff, the potatoes, all of that, and I focus in on like meats and veggies and I just stay away from sugar, things like that, and my weight comes off.
Yeah.
But there's so much conflicting info, right? So do I go paleo? Do I go keto? I mean, those are the two big ones right now, right? And vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Vegan is big right now. So what do you feel about that? Is there a strategy for you to determine each person? Is that how you determine what's better for that person? Or do you have a strategy of what you think works?
In regards to that, I have a pretty general strategy as to what I think works.
Okay.
And
you've seen
I
results.
resonate with a pretty high fat, low carbish diet. The carbs, I think about carbs pertaining to a person's activity level and
Right.
their specific goals.
Okay.
Like for me, I wanna maintain weight, if not gain weight. So I would need adequate carb intake for that.
Right.
So it all depends on a person's goals.
And that's how you help us adjust.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay. So, sorry, go ahead.
Well, you were saying how there's so many different dietary strategies out there.
Yeah,
And one thing people need to think about, the reason why there's so many different things out there, you want to realize that, you want to think about in years past how there are big corporations that push different agendas to
Right.
make profit.
Right.
And the same thing is still going on. So different companies will push different diets so they make money. Like Kellogg's will push, we need cereals and grains for health, and this company will push that. So that's why
Right.
there's so many different things.
Yeah.
But there really is general food guidelines that really do work for most, if not all people.
Okay.
Certain food things really will work
Okay.
for pretty much everybody.
Okay. Because it's the human body.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. That makes
exactly.
sense.
When it comes to food, that's
That
how
makes
it
sense.
is.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with drugs, right? I mean, you don't do crack. I mean, you
Yeah.
just don't because it's not good for you,
Yeah.
right? So I get what you're saying. Like sometimes the human body just doesn't react to certain things,
Right.
right? Yeah, and that makes sense. And and when you're being fed from big corporations, like you're saying, and we get fed from big, when there's a low purchasing in eggs, they push an egg agenda. They do that with milk, they do that with beef, they do that with everything. So I'm really grateful to you. I know you have a lot of success stories, so I'm excited for you to share that. We are gonna add that to this segment. I'm gonna try to put it up there so people can see some before and afters of people that you've worked with.
Nice.
I hope to put my before and afters.
Yeah, we
all
will.
right?
We will.
We're gonna
We
be
will.
doing this.
Yes.
Okay. So, Organic Gym LLC provides a priceless ability to exercise in a toxic-free environment. So you need to reach out to Jalen Holmes, and you can get him on Instagram at Jalen Holmes 6. Correct?
Correct.
Correct. His number, 203.
952-1865.
That's right. And then you can email Jalen at jalenchoholmes@yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Jalen is JalenCHOLMES @yahoo.com. Jalen, this was so much fun.
I know. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Yes.
Thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
here with me today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
This was
you.
a lot of fun. Why don't you go ahead and email him, find him on Instagram, get him a chance as your health coach. Let's get you healthy and well. I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Thank you, and until next time.